So tonight I'm making a risotto. This is Slimming World risotto. So in here I have a small onion chopped up finely, which I've softened. I've got about 8 mushrooms in there that I've been just sweating down, softening up. I've got some salt and pepper, as you can see, black pepper and salt, quite a lot of that because I like the grinds. And I just like to get a little bit of colour into the mushrooms because I do think that they give a better flavour. And so we've got a little colour in there. So next I have got 150 grams of risotto rice. This is for 2 people, and this is the risotto rice that we use. I think John gets that from Morrison's or somewhere like that, Morrison's or Lidl. But any risotto rice will be fine. And then normally you would mix risotto rice into some butter or oil or whatever. Well, I'm just going to coat it with all the liquid that might be left in here. I've got no fat whatsoever, a little bit of fry light in the pan to start up the onions off. And so just give it a good stir. Next I'm going to put in a couple of stock cubes. So I've got a couple of vegetable stock cubes here that I'm going to dissolve in about 450 of boiling water, and I'll be back. So I've dissolved that in the 2 stock cubes in 450 of boiling water. Just going back to this onion mixture, I don't think I said, but I have softened the onions for about 10 minutes on a low heat with a little bit of water and a lid, just so that they produce some of their own juices and things. And so now we've stirred the rice, and the rice is starting to get a little bit nutty. You can see that's starting to go a little bit brown in places. So that's just probably had a couple of minutes just stirring around in the pan. And now I'm going to add, not all of this, probably about a third of this fluid to start off with, and give that a nice, ooh, look at all the steam, give that a nice stir. And then I'm going to put the lid on, and I do it in 3 batches of the stock, so that's about a third. And then I put the lid on, and going to turn that to a 4. So that's on a number 4, and I'm going to leave that, in total it gets done for about 20-25 minutes, and so I'm probably going to leave that for about 5 or 6 minutes and just check on it and make sure it hasn't all boiled away. We've had about 4 minutes and almost all of the stock has gone, so I'm now going to put another slosh in, and so it's about another third, and give that another stir. If you've never made risotto before, then it's such an easy dish. It just needs 3 little stages like this of the stock, and give that a shake. And then I'm going to put the lid back on again. Yeah, you can just see it bubbling. You want to just have a very gentle simmer on it like that. And I'm going to reset my clock for another 10 minutes, I think. Here we are. So I'll be back in 10. So we've had the 10 minutes, and there's quite a lot of change to that. So that's not quite cooked. I've got the other third of the stock to put in. So let's just chip that in. There we are, give that a swirl round. So that's the last. You might see a pea in there, but that's just because I just got some peas out and they must have jumped about. So this is going to be a pea, ham and mushroom risotto. I think I need to just turn the heat back up again. So I'm just going to do the same again, another 10 minutes, and then just at the end of that, I shall put the peas and the ham in there to cook as well. So we're back again, here we are, and we are now looking like we are almost cooked, and yeah, it's starting to stick a bit, and we've got all the rice is swelled and that's looking really good. So I'm now going to chuck in there peas. So they are frozen peas, and on the other side I have got some gammon that I've cut up into little chunks. Cut all the fat off as best I can and put all that in, and now give that a stir, and just going to give that another few little minutes. If you need to put some more liquid in, just put a little bit of boiling water in. If you are experienced risotto makers, then you won't be needing to watch my video. This is really for people who haven't made a risotto before, or who haven't made a risotto that is Slim and World friendly, because you don't need lots of butter. You don't need lots of butter at all to make it really lush. So we've done this, and we've got a little tip after this. So once the peas have just thawed out and heated up, I shall be putting something else in to make it very creamy. So I'm just going to put the lid back on again, another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, so we're fully cooked now. So when you get to this stage, try one of your peas and just make sure that they are hot and cooked. And now what we're going to do to make it nice and creamy is we're going to add some Parmesan cheese. So for Slimming World, you can have Parmesan cheese as a healthy extra A, 20 grams. So here in this little pile I have 40 grams. I'm going to put half of it, or a bit more than half, actually into the risotto and stir it through. So I'm just going to sprinkle that generously over the top, and then the other bit is just to decorate the dish once we've served it up. If you would rather, you can put it all in, or you can put more over the top. It's entirely up to you. And so by stirring this little cheese in, we're now getting a little bit of creaminess, and so just going to turn that down, turn the heat down so that it doesn't get sticking to the bottom. And so I've left a little bit here to sprinkle over the top once it's actually in the dish. I've seasoned at the very beginning with salt and pepper. I would give it a little taste now, see if it's to your taste. If you want to put any more seasoning in, you can. And of course, if you don't want to put peas or gammon and mushrooms and onions like I have, then you can use other alternatives, whatever your taste buds enjoy, you can use. And so I'm now going to dish this up, and then we will sprinkle the Parmesan over the top and have our lovely risotto for our evening meal. So we've dished up, and we've got a nice lot of risotto, a huge portion actually of risotto. So that's 75 grams of risotto rice each. And then I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of this Parmesan just over the top and around the sides. So we've got that each, and then we're off to eat it. Now if you make it, let me know how you get on. If it's the first time you've made a risotto, it's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Honestly, once you've done one of them, you won't look back. Look at that.